Hi everyone and welcome! Today let's make chocolate crust tartlets with soft vanilla flavored cream and fresh strawberries. First let's make the chocolate crust. With this amount I will be able to make 4 tartlets 11.5 centimeters in diameter. Let's sift in a bowl 115 grams of flour and 30 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. Add 50 grams of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and mix together. Now let's add and mix in 115 grams unsalted room temperature butter. I will just mix it in roughly now. Add 1 egg yolk, 1 tablespoon of cold water, and mix everything well together to form a dough ball. I will mix by hand. You can use a mixer if you have a suitable one. The dough will be very sticky in the beginning, and because of the cocoa powder feels very powdery as well. As I continue kneading it, the dough comes together and I can shape a ball which does not stick to my hands or the bowl. If it feels too sticky and wet, add some teaspoons of flour, mixing in one by one, not to add too much flour, till the dough feels consistent and not too sticky. Let's wrap the dough in a plastic wrap and put it in the fridge to chill for a few hours. Now let's make cream for the tartlets. It will not be stiff. It will serve more as a creamy sauce with vanilla to go with the fresh strawberries. I will prepare a bigger batch of the cream, but will mention amount with which it will be sufficient for the 4 tartlets. In a pot on the stove, let's heat up 250 milliliters of milk on medium heat. And in the meanwhile, put in a bowl 50 grams of sugar and 2 egg yolks. Starting on low speed, mix the eggs and the sugar with an electric mixer. When the egg-sugar mix is lighter and foamy, add and mix in half a teaspoon of vanilla. Add in the bowl also 25 grams of cornstarch. And mix everything till the batter is smooth and creamy. Now let's gradually add and mix in the hot milk. I'm stirring quite quickly to prevent any lumps. When the milk has been mixed in, let's pour everything back in the pot and put the pot back on the stove to heat. Let's put it on medium-low heat and continuously stir till it thickens. When it starts to thicken, we need to stir quite fast to prevent lumps. Don't leave it unattended when you think nothing is happening, because right at that moment it will start to thicken and make some lumps, like it just happened here, but that's okay. If that happens, put the cream through a sieve and it will filter out the lumps. Now I have smooth cream here. Let's remove it from the stove and let it cool. Once cooled, cover and put it in the fridge. Let's remove the dough from the fridge. It has hardened, therefore before we roll it, let's let it soften at room temperature for a few minutes. And grease the tartlet pans with oil or butter, bottom and the sides. Let's cut the dough into 4 pieces and put 1 piece between 2 pieces of parchment paper. Before putting the dough on the parchment paper, oil the parchment paper so that the dough does not stick to it. And roll the dough flat in a somewhat circle a bit bigger than the diameter of the form in which we will put it. Remove the parchment paper from the top, flip the dough, and put it over the cake pan with the help of the remaining parchment paper. Carefully remove the parchment paper and fold the dough in the cake pan, covering the sides. Using a knife, cut off the dough which is outside above the cake form. The longer you work with the dough, the softer it will become because the butter starts to melt, so we want to be as quick as we can. Now let's put it back in the fridge to chill again. When ready to bake, let's put the oven to heat to 180 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's pinch the tartlet shells with a fork and put in each a piece of parchment paper and fill it with some beans, which will help to prevent the bottom of the crust going up when baking. And put them in the oven to bake for about 10 minutes. Remove the parchment paper with beans and put the tartlet crusts back in the oven to bake for a few more minutes if the bottoms are wet. As we will not bake them anymore, we need the crust to be fully baked. Now let's leave the crust to completely cool and set before removing it from the cake pans. The crust is now cold, so we can gently and carefully remove it from the cake pan. Now I will put a layer, a few teaspoons of the cream in the crust to cover its bottom. Wash and cut the strawberries. I have very big strawberries here, therefore I will cut them in thin slices to put in a layer on top of the tartlet. If you have, you can add some berries as well. Enjoy and see you next week. Bye!